Yeah. Shekhar, at the end of every rally, if you can give me 1 or 2 crowd shots, I'll be happy, Shekhar. 3. Okay, thank
Order
you.
of play. That's it. There are 2 graphics from him.
Okay.
There's tie coming up.
Okay.
And order of play.
Oh, brilliant, yaar. We'll have to fill 6 minutes with that. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, order of play.
It's nothing.
We've done this so many times.
And nothing is better than nonsense. So let's go with nothing. At times silence is really killing, yaar. Suddenly chala gaya, yaar.
Silence is counted.
Producer 2. Mandir? Producer 2. AR calling. Oh.
Where is the other line? Where's the line
Yes?
cams here? Where's the line cams camera?
Pardon?
Line cam.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
camera will it be?
Line 1. Camera 1.
No. Only after the titles, when you see the Delhi shots.
No, you've got to go. See?
Yes.
Whose power
From there you
directions
start
3-0.
talking and then the
Korea
Google map.
defeated Germany with the same scoreline to complete the final 4 of the competition.
Yeah. We don't have team profiles. Yeah. Yes, who's calling? Yes. I have put you off, don't worry. Yes, Sanjay, there is no issue, don't worry. You have seen all the videos, right? Okay, right. Cue commentary, then you start. Okay. Yeah. I'll say ready to cue commentary in 5 seconds and then you can start. Mandir, come. Yours is through. Now speak. Somebody, see AR is blinking now. AR speak to producer. Are you getting? No, I am getting. No. Yeah, it's still coming to the director here. Don't worry, relax. इतना छोटा how will people read, yaar? We'll have to give them a Google Glass along with this, which is about $1,500, no?
$1,500 and plus the service also, no?
Service, okay. How can they read? Okay. Hey, give me the ticker, yaar. Vaibhav, give me the ticker for a second. Where's the gentleman who wanted to come and see? Yeah, this is perfect, yaar. Perfect.
This is your first graphic.
Okay. Okay. This will be
Player versus player. पहले ना हाँ ये तो जब वो मैच
beauty है take beauty.
मैच कमिंग अप पे ये होगा ना मैच कमिंग अप ये होगा.
Take beauty. Release the ticker and then without the ticker it will come. No, give it. Give it. It will come on this. No, I have put standby on the giant scoreboard. This is the one, is it?
No.
producer one. Should I take it out?
Yes, Pella, that's locator. Ah, दिखा दो, locator दिखा दो.
Show the location. Show in sequence.
Yes. Yeah, beginning. After the VT, I come to a beauty and then this comes. Okay, Vaibhav? This will be your first caption, and then the second one will be what?
Hybrid से आ गया तो
Hey, less than 3 minutes, yeah. Come on, gentlemen.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, thank you.
मिल रहा है?
Yes, यार.
इसमें हाइब्रिड किस पे है?
No, thank you. Just checking.
इसमें हाइब्रिड किस पे है?
हाइब्रिड में दे देता हूँ. हाँ. कौन सा नहीं यूज होने वाला है मुझे बता दो, मैं वहाँ पे प्लेस.
Okay. So that will come only on beauty, यार.
की जगह दे दो.
Beauty में आएगा. This one.
Hello and welcome to New Delhi. This is the Thomas and Yuva Cup finals. Badminton's greatest extravaganza being played here at Siri Fort in the capital of India. Just fresh from the major elections that we had, and here we can see some of the teams that have won. The fantastic stadium here, the Siri Fort Auditorium as it is called, and right in the heart of New Delhi. And this is where all the teams have assembled. 16 top teams in each category. Thomas and Yuva Cup. And the biggest names that one can think of in both the ladies and gents have assembled here in Delhi to fight for the most coveted prize in world badminton. And it's a practice session here in full flow, and of course badminton. It has become a mecca of badminton in India of sorts. All the games are held here. India Gate, as you can see, some of the historical monuments, the Jama Masjid. And of course, New Delhi is always full of great street food and vibrant, buzzing capital, one of the best cities in the world. And that's the Red Fort, from where the Prime Minister of India gives his speech on the Independence Day. And this is where we welcome all the players of the world. So here we are, and along with me is Dinesh Khanna, the former Asian champion and national champion of India. New Delhi, India is where the action is taking place now. This is the stadium, the Siri Fort, which has held 4 years back. We had the Commonwealth Games here, we have had the Asian Championships here, and we have the India Open here many times. The first match on will be the Indonesia-Australia encounter, and you can see Indonesia, a very top team here playing against Australia, and Indonesia definitely starting off as favourites. Lindavani Fanetri will be the first women's singles playing against Tara Pilwin, and then we have the first women's doubles. Pradeepta and Bernadette will play Tang and Viran. Then Manupati Bellatrix takes on the second women's singles, which is in this new format, and she plays Bernadette Kessler. And then we have Nuridia Andini playing the second doubles against the Somerville and Guan duo of Australia. And finally, the third singles match will be between Firdasari against Joy Lai. And of course, all the matches in the group games have to be played, and the top 2 teams will move into the quarter-final stages. That is the format of this first time it is being held in this sort of format, where 16 top teams of the world have assembled here for the Yuva Cup, and 16 will vie for the Thomas Cup. And it is the greatest, as I said, the greatest badminton festival or extravaganza that is taking place, and we are lucky that it is being held for the first time here in New Delhi. And Dinesh Khanna along with me. Dinesh, welcome.
Thank you, Sanjay.
And we were just discussing Indonesia there. Dinesh, Indonesia, of course, some of the supporters already here. You can see the crowds. And a great history in Yuva Cup as far as Indonesia is concerned.
Of course, they have won the Yuva Cup, and in fact, Yuva Cup, the inaugural tournament was held in 1956-57 when Betty Yuva presented the trophy a year earlier. The first 3 editions were won by USA, and that was followed by Japan. But after China's entry in 1981-82, it has been China all the way. They have won it 12 times, the Yuva Cup, and Korea, of course, upsetting them in the last last Yuva Cup.
So that's as far as Indonesia is concerned. Of course, the bigger teams playing on other courts today would be China, Korea. China, 12 times champion, will be also playing their matches. And as I said, a part of the crowd already assembled here. You can see the Indonesians coming in to cheer for their team. And the first match on will be Fanetri, that is Lindavani Fanetri, who will play against Tara Pilwin of Australia. And just to mention the world rankings of both the players, the Indonesian girls ranked world number 23 as against 104th ranked of Tara Pilwin. So that will be the first match on, and Dinesh, considering the history of Indonesians and of course the strength that they have, I think this could well be a match which could go the Indonesian way.
Yes, certainly. The tie definitely appears to be the Indonesians' way, but all the 5 matches will be played because the initial stages are a league on the league basis. So every match and every point matters, because if it's a tie between two teams or three teams, then that will determine which are the two teams to go to the quarterfinal stage.
Absolutely right, and of course that could come down to number of points won, number of games won. So every match is important. Each team would try to finish the match as early as they can. So there she is. She's got the onus of trying to win the first match for her team, Tara Pilwin of Australia, representing a country here. A lot of pride in playing Yuva Cup in this sport, and of course there is nothing bigger than Thomas and Yuva Cup, Dinesh.
Certainly, the symbol of world supremacy as far as the men's team championship and the women's team championship is concerned, the Thomas Cup for men and Uber Cup for women. And of course, when you're playing the Uber Cup or the Thomas Cup, it has its own pressures, which is much more than the individual pressures, because you are carrying the expectations of the country on your shoulders.
Absolutely, and Dinesh is the right person to talk about that sort of pressure. Played for India with great pride, played a lot of Thomas Cups, and of course the first Asian champion. The first Asian Championship was held in India in Lucknow, 1965, if I am not mistaken, and Dinesh Khanna, sitting with me, was the proud winner for India. So the players just about getting, and of course Dinesh, Indonesia, when we talk of Indonesia, of course men's in Thomas Cup they won for a long time. 3 times winners in Yuva Cup. They've had some fantastic players. They had Suji Sudanti, they had Viravati. Suji, I think, was one of the finest players that at least I have seen, and I'm sure you will agree with that.
Yes, certainly. I mean, a defensive player, but I think she was so effective. Her length used to be immaculate, and one of the greatest, perfect length, great movements, and is inexhaustible stamina.
So as we can see, the world ranking here, 105th for Tara Pilwin. Career win losses, as you can see, 30 to 35. And in 2000,
Denmark and Hong Kong. Just long from Jorgensen, and the first point goes the way of Huyen. But one of the interesting points when we start an event like this, like any event really, is how will the court react? I know the players have been warming up the last couple of days. You've been talking to obviously quite a few of the boys in the Denmark team. What sort of drift do we expect here?
This morning they said the drift was going in Jan's direction. So, but yesterday they said when they were warming up on the course and finding it was very difficult to find out where the drift was coming from. It was changing constantly, so it's a very tricky hole to play in this head. And I think we can already see in the start that they're really feeling of the hole, you know. So we'll see a little bit of maybe a patient game in the beginning before they really open up.
It's been a pretty tight start. Trying to open up there, just missing the line. There's a little short, but getting into the net. And a few nerves, it looks like, out there at the moment.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of feedback off our umpire's microphone as well.
Gotta get used to the ball as well. There you see.
Very even start, hasn't it? Not surprisingly, really. I mean, for Jan, it's not a new experience. Of course, at the Sudirman Cup last year, there was no Peter Gader, so kind of used, if you like, coming out first singles. But Huyen, at the age of 33, is, even though Hong Kong haven't played that much in the Thomas Cup, he has the knowledge of plenty of games under his belt.
Yeah, and especially in these venues, so he's got the routine for these matches. Of course, as you spoke about, Jan's got this pressure that being the main man, as we could say that, has to go in and show the rest of the team that he's ready.
So who's the one with the without hooter down there?
I didn't see that guy.
I didn't recognise him with his headgear on. We'll get another look in a moment. And he's hurt his shoulder a little bit there as well. Huyen just felt things. Obviously, players are carrying injuries all the time. I don't know if that's something that's at the age of 33 been worrying him anyway, but that was a poor miss, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And it looked like he couldn't time it properly, and that he mishits it so much. So you actually are hitting for something and not hitting it, that hurts in your shoulder. You see he's finding it difficult to control the drift over, and you see Jan, he keeps the front court, he keeps the net, he's forcing Hu to lift away from the net, and with the drift it's difficult to control.
So Jorgensen wins 4 points in a row, and you feel now settled into the match.
Yeah, yes.
8-6 the lead for Jorgensen, who trailed 6-4 in this match. timing it now, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. He's playing well now. A good tempo as well. And it's funny you said that when he had calf problems. I spoke to him before the match, and to put it straight, these socks are not fashion. It's actually because of that, and he hasn't had any problems since he started using those long socks.
So what, they just keep the calves warm, do they?
They keep them warm, and kind of he feels secure in them, and that's the sports director in Denmark, Finn Trapp Hansen, and the physio in the back.
Yeah, perfectly weighted, and it takes him into the interval with an 11-6 lead. He's won 7 points in a row going into the interval, and the coach is obviously going to talk to him and give him positive feedback after that. With Denmark ahead at the first interval, Jorgensen leading by 11 points to 6. Kenneth Jonassen talking to Jan here. Kenneth, of course, was part of the England setup, wasn't he, not long ago? Recently back with Denmark.
Yeah, he did he took the English team for the Olympics, and of course he's played a lot of Thomas Cup for Denmark, and I've been on the same team as him. Played some great matches.
So Jan Jorgensen obviously will be looking to pick up where he left off in this opening game. Timing it really well now and finding the corners, finding the lines. It was interesting, we had that point to go into the interval, just caught the line. Of course, we do have the referral system here for this event, as we have had in all the major Super Series events in badminton in 2014. So we will have a chance, I would assume, at some point this morning to see it in action.
It will come. Trust me.
So using the Hawkeye system, you get 2 challenges, don't you, per match?
Which is fantastic that system has come into badminton, because it just keeps the game fair, you know.
Yeah, you know what though, from a from a sadistic commentary point of view, it's quite nice sometimes when the players get rubbed up the wrong way and they get a little upset by this, that and the other. But yeah, we want to see winning points counted as winners, don't we?
You can get upset over other things as well. So.
7-14.
Well, this is a much needed point, wasn't that, for Hu Yin? Just broke that little run. When I say little, I mean it was a run of 10 points for Jan, which pretty much has got him this first game wrapped up. Really, it's hard to see him losing it from here.
You can see he can't really control the drift. You know, this is world-class players, and normally they wouldn't do those mistakes. So he's finding it very difficult to play on that side where he's standing now.
But he had to go out, even though you know he's lacking in form at the moment. He had to go out first, didn't he? Really, I mean, when you look at the other 2 players in their singles lineup, Wei Nan and Wong Wing Ki, you know, neither player threatening the upper echelons of badminton, and Wong Wing Ki, another who's really kind of struggled in the last 6 months or so.
16-8.
How comes we've got Emil Holst in the third men's singles?
And not that was actually the guy with the funny hat. He seems to be having a problem with his foot.
Rittinghouse, yeah?
Yeah, Rittinghouse. He is also with the noise.
So what he's lacking for playing action today is making up with noise.
And that's the one thing, you know, that I really like with these events, is that you are a team, and it's fantastic to be a team in badminton. But they are putting in Emil today because I also think that if they're going to use hands later on in the group stages or to the middle games, it's probably better to give him the break today. And I think they feel quite secure that Denmark will win anyway.
That time from Jorgensen. saw the drift there, bring that back in though.
And that's the thing, that the side where Hu is standing on now is not only it's very difficult because you got to keep the attack all the time because you can't use the backcourt. It's also extremely hard because Jan can use the backcourt, so he can keep pushing him around. I think the interesting point in this match now is to see how is Hu going to react when he gets to the other side.
Yeah, at the moment I get the feeling Hu Yun has kind of thought, right, this game's gone.
Yeah. Focus on this next one.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't really even trying to get to that last shuttle.
No. You see that?
Yeah.
20.
It's ended up being, after
10.
well, pretty even opening 10 points, to be a bit of a stroll in this opening game for Janne Jorgensen.
Service
A little
over.
bit of luck brings another point on the board for Hu.
11-20.
Hu Yun, the first men's singles players, we see that point just have a little bit of luck.
Oh, look how far up he's standing.
9 game points. He took it with the very first one. 21 points to 11. A very emphatic scoreline in this opening game. Goes the way of Janne Jorgensen. So confirmation that Janne Jorgensen, he's through that opening game. 21 points to 11. So let's have a look at where the points were won. And, well, it doesn't really tell us too much, really, because I suppose really it's the main point was the amount of points won, and Hu Yun really didn't get too much joy, particularly in the second half of that game.
No. Well, you can also see he can't really use the backcourt on the 9% there, so you see it's pretty much front court play, and you can see Jan could use the whole court. So.
What do you know? You're a coach, Jim. I mean, what do you say to a player when he's strolled through a game like that? Do you really feel like you need to say much?
Well, I wouldn't say so much about the intensity and these things, because I think Jan is there. But I would talk about now he's on the different side now. So we go over the things that's been discussed before the match. You know, how do we control the drift and these things?
20 seconds.
Not more than that. He doesn't need more than that. You know, if you put too much into his head, then he might be confused.
Yeah, just more of the same is what's required from Jorgensen. And you can't see him not taking this 2-0 the way that opener went. So the world number 3.
Second game. Level.
Looking good
Play.
to bring the opening point for Denmark. 21 points to 11, that opening game.
Smart smash by Jan, but you can already see here that Hu's been
No.
able to use the full court now that he couldn't use in the first set at all. So it's up to Jan now to really focus on the rally. It's going to be longer. It's not going to get as easy, at least not here in the beginning as we saw in the first.
Of course, this is a big event for Denmark, but you can't help but think it's the World Championships coming up in the end of August, and I think Jan's from Ballerup, is he? Is that the place not too far from Copenhagen where the
He's actually from the other part of them in Jutland, but he lives in Copenhagen, and
right.
it's in 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Copenhagen.
So it's going to be a big deal, isn't it, for the Danish players?
It's very big. It's very big.
1.
I tried it myself to play on home ground. It's just very special. There you see the fist of Jan. He knows it's important to get a good start here. If he gets a good start on this side, the difficult side, if you can say that, then you know maybe whose mood is gonna. It's definitely not gonna improve.
That's more like it from Huyen. Needs more of that really to find a platform in this match to really give Jorgensen something to think about. Just wide that time, trying to find the same corner.
4-2. Service over.
And I take it the rest of the Denmark team watching on, they'll be watching Jans play from this end of the court with interest, really, just seeing how the shuttle does react on the court.
Yeah, especially the single players. They're going to look at what's been successful and what it's not.
Service over.
But actually for the rally before this one, who played really, really well.
3.
And if he keeps that up, then you know we might have a game here. But he needs to be more focused.
Fantastic play, attacking play from Jorgensen there.
6-3.
Yeah, very aggressive, and he needs to be that on this side. That's the difficult part where he's standing now when you have to drift with you, is to be very aggressive, but still a little bit of have some patience at the right moments. And he's doing that really well.
Yeah, dominating here in this opening match for Denmark right now, Jorgensen. And I mentioned earlier that it's a cricket-obsessed nation, India. I know Danes don't know too much about cricket, but apparently Jan said in an interview when he was here for the Indian Open last month that if he wasn't going to be a badminton player, although he loves football and a big Liverpool fan, he would have been a cricketer.
Okay.
His cousin apparently plays cricket.
I don't know if you're able to actually play cricket in Denmark.
Well,
anyway.
one of his cousins is a pro in South Africa, apparently, a pro cricketer.
Okay. I think there is a few Danes been actually playing cricket.
7.
Yeah, it's not the most popular sport in Denmark, is it really?
There is a Peterson, isn't there, in England?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Peterson is pretty Danish, so maybe.
Yeah, but that's again, that's more of a South African link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was born in South Africa.
But I'm pretty sure Peterson's not a South African name either, so there must be something Danish in there.
5-7.
Well, you can say with the way that he, you know, with his arm, not to go too much into cricket, but I'm not good at that. But he does have a pretty fast arm if you need that in cricket.
And you also need pretty good hand-eye coordination, and he's certainly got that, Jorgensen. But Huyen trying to make a fight of things here in this second game.
And you could just see that by these mistakes that both players have been doing on the backcourt. You can see the drift, because this is top players, and we're talking about half a meter that it's out. So that just tells you how difficult it is to control the shuttle.
Service over.
A good cricket arm.
8-6.
I think that was the most powerful one of the match so far from Jorgensen.
Service over. 7-8.
Nothing Jorgensen could do with that one. Right at his body.
Service over. 9-7.
It's one of Jan's specialities, doing that spin net shot. It's difficult to control. One thing that's very obvious to see is that you can just also see that one of the problems that Hu has, he doesn't have those attacking weapons that's needed to beat Jan. You know, he's got that drop shot there, but he hasn't got the big smash. He hasn't got really a lot of variation from the backcourt, so it's very difficult for him to actually take advantage of the side that he is on now.
Yeah, this time last year, Hu Yun was actually playing very well. He's probably in the best purple patch of his career. But a year on, we mentioned already, if you weren't with us, a lot of first-round exits, not very many matches won, and he's gone from inside the top 10 of the world rankings to just outside now, and obviously not firing on all cylinders, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that here.
Yeah, and of course there's another thing, when you show up and do improve, then of course everybody else is going to start looking at you and going to have video sessions on your weaknesses and strengths, so it's difficult to stay on the top.
11-8, Jorgensen leads in the second game. Two more chats from Andersen to Jorgensen. But very much going according to plan
Court
so
one,
far for Denmark in this opening rubber.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Play.
It was interesting watching in the last few points of this second game how Jorgensen was celebrating the points. I mean, obviously he's kind of making it look easy. It's not easy, that's just long from Hu Yun, but you can see there a little fist pump from him again as he won that point. He's trying to maintain that intensity because at the moment it is pretty easy scoreline, but you just don't want to lose concentration, do you?
No, you don't. And it might look easy, but it just takes a few points, and then suddenly, you know, nerves comes into it, and maybe Hu gets a little bit of a momentum. So he wants to keep this gap going. And it also looks like Hu came up here from the break. He came out in a totally different tempo. So he's probably been told by the coaches that it's now or never.
Service over.
Yeah, well, there's an example of going through shots, not putting it off though, Hu Yun, but there has been a little more emphasis on attacking first couple of points since the interval.
I think that's the first smash we really see him get down on Jan.
10-13.
It's interesting though, isn't it, that as you say, the coach was kind of now or never, you know, he's got a nothing to lose attitude. You just wonder sometimes why players don't come out with that attitude, because, you know, given his form, given who he's up against here, I mean, Huygen was the underdog anyway, so why not go out and play your shots?
Yeah. It's difficult from player to player. I think, you know, it's a kind of what kind of mentality do the players have. You know, it's very seldom that you see Jan, no matter what, come out. He always comes out firing. Where you have these other players that comes out maybe need to feed up the game, but fine.
Service over. 11.
Yeah, I suppose it's easy
14.
for us to sit here and say that, and I suppose if he'd have come out trying to attack and then, you know, hardly got a point on the ball, we'd have been saying, why is he, you know, playing so carefree?
Yeah, he said he was. We have to remember he started on the side with it was probably his most difficult to play. So I've tried that sometimes, where you get into a hole and even if you warmed up and you have practiced that, it's totally different, and you feel like, whoa, have I ever played this game before? You know, so.
Service over.
Well, what's important for him, I think, is then when he does play a good rally and when he does win a point, he needs to show it. He not only needs to show it for himself and his coaches, but he also needs to show the team that, you know, he believes in this. And I don't think he's doing that.
No, well, there was an example just now, won that point. There was no reaction at all.
No.
Body
and
language.
That was a very important. Yeah, and that was a very important point. That could have been a much bigger gap. So.
But you're right. Body language is important. Not, as you say, not just for himself and his team, but also for his opponent.
Yeah.
Service over. 16-13.
And I think they know pretty much the game's up. A little bit of a pause for refreshment for the players. 5 points from victory right now, Jorgensen.
I think he broke a string as well in that smash, so he's changing rackets. We'll probably see that a lot with the timing. We'll see a lot of strings break this week.
It's a court, fair to say, that encourages attacking play?
It does, because you can't really control the backcourt, and it's always, in this case, it's easier to keep the shuttle down than lifting it upwards. So
17,
it does, and
13.
even though compared to the, what can you say, classic Danish hall or an English hall, this hall is quite big, but it's not a huge venue, so
14,
you don't see that slow play going on. You will probably see a lot of attack, a lot of people, players trying to control the front court. You also see the lift he's using is flat lift, it's not high ones.
Service over. 18-14.
Well, edging towards victory here, Jorgensen. That's nicely put away, wasn't it? By who?
15-18.
But again, no reaction.
No, and that's a good shot. I would be happy with that one.
Yeah.
And that's the spin shot again.
Of the match so far, that.
Yeah. And that's the game that he needs to play, who?
Well,
forcing Jan to the back and then taking the front court.
Never too late.
No.
2 points in this second game.
But that's what makes it so difficult. You know, we've been sitting here with, he's been looking like he's in cruise control, Jan, but it's only a 2-point gap. Who's playing better now? Using the backcourt really well.
Service over.
The problem when Jorgensen so close to victory is that
60.
you want to find the corners, but you can't afford any of these little errors, and it means Jorgensen now just 2 points away from the opening point for Denmark. Match points have arrived.
20. Match point. 60.
Janne Jorgensen gets Denmark off to a winning start at the 2014 Thomas Cup. A pretty emphatic victory, you have to say, from the world number 3. 21
Match
points
won
to
by
11,
Denmark.
21 points, 16
21-11,
in.
21-16.
Jorgensen delighted with his efforts, and so he should be. Never really looked threatened throughout the match, lasting just over 30 minutes. There were some flickers of brilliance from Huynh, but only flickers. So Denmark lead by 1-0 in this match against Hong Kong, thanks to Janne Jorgensen. Just too much in his locker, and that's the winning point. That means Denmark are off to a winning start. Well, Jorgensen will be so relieved as well as delighted. He always has the fear that maybe things might go wrong in that opening match for him, but they didn't, and I think he's getting ready to have a little chat with us. It'll be interesting to see what he made of things. That's confirmation of the scoreline then. 21-11, 21-16. Jorgensen has put Denmark 1 to the good against Hong Kong. So this was some of the highlights from the match, and in the opening game it was a pretty tight start, but Jorgensen went on a run of 10 points in a row from 6-4 down to 14-6 up, and really that was the run that stamped his authority on this match.
Yeah, from there on it was Jan's game, and then he looked really solid. Yeah, I must say, that's good for Denmark.
He always had his nose in front, didn't he, in that second game? Who, as I say, maybe found conditions a little easier from that end of the court, but Jorgensen kept his intensity going throughout.
And he was willing, Jan, to when he was on that side that is difficult to play on. He was willing to work for it, as you see. He keeps attacking even though he's not really in balance, and he was good at keeping the shuttle down and then waiting for that counter attack coming forward.
Every point celebrated as if it was the winning point. And, well, so quick to gobble up any opportunities that came his way. 21-11, he took the first game. It was a little tighter in the second, but Huynh in the end kind of ran out of ideas. He tried to certainly open up a little bit more after the interval in that second game, but really just didn't look as if he was going to retrieve that losing position.
No, and he never really showed anybody in this hall that he believed in it. So he needs to go home and work on the body language because it's just giving your opponent so much confidence when you have when you see who almost hanging with his head down all the time and not showing that he believes in it.
Well, there will be more difficult matches to come for Denmark, but terrific start for them. Let's have a look at some of the statistics from the game, and here's some of the match statistics, as you can see, and expect, given the way things ended in terms of the overall scoreline, that Jorgensen dominating things.
Yeah, and you see the winners. This is what I talked about. You know, who didn't really have the weapons, and that's, you know, 12 to 5 winners. That's a lot.
Smiles, as you'd expect, in the Denmark team. So that's the scoreline. Denmark leading by a game to 0, thanks to Jorgensen's opening victory in the men's singles. Courts in the Siri Fort Sports Complex, and matches going on throughout the time. You may be able to hear some of the support for Indonesia.
Yeah, they always have great supporters in Indonesia. Even no matter where they play in the world, you can always hear them. It's fantastic. The tradition of badminton in Indonesia is unbelievable.
So those matches going on in the Uber Cup, and of course the other Thomas Cup match in this group between England and Japan, and it's gone to a third game in the opening game between Kenichi Tago and Rajiv Usuf.
It was close to an upset there. Rajiv lost the second set, and very close.
There's the Indonesian fans, as you say, always make plenty of noise.
Yeah, but this is for them. Thomas Cup is, you know, that's a Uber Cup is just so important to them. I had the privilege to play in '94 in the Stores and Iron, and where they won it, it was unbelievable.
So here come the players for the men's doubles, match 2 in this tie between Denmark and Hong Kong. From Denmark, Mads Conrad Pedersen and Mads Peter Kolding up against Kar Long and Law Chuk Hum. And well, they probably weren't expecting to be the #1 men's doubles pair coming into this week, but that's the way it's turned out for the Mads.
It has, and well, it's an opportunity for them to take that next step, which I think is what they need to do. So sometimes you need a little help, and now they have the chance to take that step. They're pretty solid in Europe and been winning a lot of European tournaments, and they haven't really. Of course, they were in the European final this year, but they still need to show that they can do it in these tournaments, that they can beat top 10, top 20 pairs.
Well, the umpire is Grace Chair from Singapore, just going through the preliminaries. There's the tall man, Mads Peter Kolding. '27-year-old. This is a pair that's ranked 17 in the world. As resumed their partnership after last year's World Championships. They have been together before and they do get on well. Not always the case, is it, with men's doubles pairs? You don't have to be friends, but I would think it would help.
It helps. It helps. You do not need to be friends, and you do not need to use so much time with each other outside court. But these two guys have been knowing each other from early stages. I remember them playing in the whole junior years they played together. And of course, Mads Conrad Petersen had a chance to play with the former world champion Jonas Rasmussen. And of course, that was a great learning experience for him. And then with all these old players quitting, it's now back to Mats Colling.
So there's their ranking 17. As you see, they've had plenty of matches over the years. This year, well, European finalists, but like the #1 pair, if you like, from Denmark. Obviously not this week, but Bo and Mogensen lost to the